Hi, welcome back, all you Eastview poets. We are going to continue our unit with poetry with a topic that I think all of you will enjoy. I have even made our beginning poem and ending poem revolve around food. So our first poem to start, Breakfast. This chipmunk does not dine, does not idle, does not linger, has no time for chits and chats, nibbling bits of this and that. Then suddenly, a chipmunk dash past my feet, a furry flash, sneaks a piece, races back, chewing fast, a pancake feast in chubby cheeks. If you haven't guessed, we are going to make poems all about food today. So, what are your favorite foods? Make a list of them on a piece of paper, make a list of them in your writer's notebook, and look, what food do you especially love that you would love to make a poem about? If you're like a lot of us, maybe you can't just pick one and you'll write many, many poems about food. And as you think about the topic that you would like to write about, I also challenge you to think about what other tools have you learned to write with your poetry that we've been working on. And I have a few listed here for you. Maybe you can think about incorporating repetition, the repeating of a line or a word or a phrase. How about alliteration, that same beginning sound that's repeated 2 or more times in a sentence, or a simile comparing two things using the words like or as, or maybe a metaphor that is a direct comparison between two things. Onomatopoeia is all of those sound words that we write how they sound. What about personification, giving animals or non-human objects human traits and characteristics? Maybe you can also think about using rhyme in your poem. And if you don't want to rhyme, maybe you just want it to be a free verse where there are no rules. Think about a color that you would think would describe your food, and maybe you can use color in your poems. Or ing words, all of those verbs. Are you going to make a poem with food and put it into the shape of that food? Maybe you could do a hinky pinky, like those rhyming riddles that we just did not too long ago. So think about all of those things that we've been learning about with poetry and the different types of poems that we've been doing, and see if maybe you can't incorporate a few of those into your poem that you create about food. So now I'm just going to share a few poems with you, and I just want you to look at the different techniques that each of these authors use. As I look at this poem, just look at the way that they have broken their poem into lines and the line breaks and the way that they have the words on the page. It makes it look interesting. You try some of those things as well. The title is Sunny. Side up, bull's eye, egg. Turn over easy and don't break the yolk. In the mood for a favorite food. Matter of taste. What does your tongue like the most? Chewy meat or crunchy toast? A lumpy, bumpy pickle or a tickly pop? A soft marshmallow or a hard lime drop? Hot pancakes or a sherbet freeze? Celery noise or quiet cheese? Or do you like pizza more than any of these? By Eve Merriam. Ooh, here we have a shape poem. Greedy. Big pile of apple cores, banana skins, carrot tops, old shoes, toy car, moldy bread, dead flour grease, meat scrap glass jars, broken glass, envelopes, burned bones, orange peels, headless doll, tin cans, potato peelings, soggy cardboard, smashed board, coffee grounds. Here comes the garbage truck. Gobble by Robert Froman. The Toaster. A silver-scaled dragon with jaws flaming red sits at my elbow and toasts my bread. I hand him fat slices and then, one by one, he hands them back when he sees they are done. By William J. Smith. Cute little poem about a toaster and what it does so that we can eat that toast. Italian noodles. Before I read, I just want you to take a look. Look at the second line and the fourth line in the first stanza. Ravioli and slowly. We know that this is not how you spell slowly, but the author is being creative and wanting the second line and the fourth line to look the same. So he's playing with words. We read it slowly, but it's not how we would spell slowly, but that's okay. The author is in charge and he's using this, being creative, and he does it in each stanza. So I want you to look at what the author does in all of these stanzas as I read them. Read them with me. Italian noodles. Whenever I eat ravioli, I fork it quick, but chew it slowly. A meatballed mound of hot spaghetti is what I'm raring for already. Why, when it comes to pipe like ziti? Well, I don't know, a sight more pretty. Wouldn't you love to have lasagna any old time the mood was on ya? Oh why do plates of pasta make my heart start fluttering faster? X.J. Kennedy. Be creative and you play with words like that too if you would like to try it. My food poem is all about chips and dip. So when I made my list in my writer's notebook of my favorite foods, I always come back to chips and dip being my favorite food. So here's my poem. Chips and dip, it's true you can't just eat one. Chips and dip, it's my favorite food, yum, yum, yum. Chips and dip, salt and vinegar, barbecue wavy. Chips and dip, after eating the bag, I feel lazy. I also incorporated another technique that poets use, and I used repetition. I wanted to try something else out when doing my food poem, so I thought in loving chips and dip so much it was something that I would like to repeat. So in all four stanzas, it's the first two lines of my poem. Before I set you off to do your own food poems, I want to share a camping poem with you that I found. And I'm reading this poem to you, and you're reading it along with me if you choose to, because it brings back a lot of memories when my kids and I went camping, and how I enjoy still when we go camping, roasting marshmallows over the fire. And I ask you to think about, what kind of marshmallow roaster are you? Toasting marshmallows. I am a careful marshmallow toaster, a patient marshmallow roaster, turning my stick oh so slowly, taking my time, checking often. This is art, a time of serious reflection as my pillowed confection slowly reaches golden perfection. My brother grabs them with grubby hands, shoves them on the stick, burns them to a crisp, pulls them off, flicks soot, eats quick. I'm still turning my stick. He's already eaten 6. So are you like her that's very patient and wants her marshmallow just right? Or are you like her brother that just wants to get them toasted so that you can eat them? Please take some time to create your food poems, and I'd love to see some of the things that you are creating. Off you go. Happy writing.